Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel in our next episode of Myth Dark Frontiers, the board game playthrough, where we're not doing really well. We had a bad start, and it's just carrying over and continuing on. We've kind of recovered a little bit. We've been able to gather one of our 9 objectives that we need to gather so far. And keep in mind that when you gather objectives, things become slightly more difficult because you have more what they call musters that come out from the edge of the board, and more monsters that start to come in. And we have quite a few monsters on the board already. We got some really bad trouble areas that we got to take care of. The good news is that a lot of our objectives are in areas where we have to battle. And so we're going to get some of that done in this episode and see what we can do. Now, we're going to start off. I have everything ready to go for our next turn. We're just got to get it going. So we're going to get right into our what they call the, I never remember the name of the phase, it's the planning phase, where we are going to first deal with the villains deck, the bad guys, and it is here, and it's stacked in a very specific way, so I cannot shuffle it at this point. This will be the morning card for the bad guys, this will be the day card, and this will be the night card. Now we do know that the night card is going to be one of the previous cards, but the other two are the two that didn't get played last turn. And then after that, of course, we're going to pick what our characters are going to do. Well, we have the ability to close in on a couple of our objectives, and I'd really like to do it. One of the ways we can do that is by questing in the ruins. I actually believe that we can get two of our quests done this turn, or not quests but objectives this turn, if we get a little bit lucky. So one of the things I want to do, for example, is I was going to move her into here, but I don't think I'm going to do that because we have a couple things going on. Now, I could go here and have a battle and clear this out. And I could do that with our apprentice, but I don't know, do we have enough now? Do we have enough supplies? I got 4 supplies and 1 hope. I actually do have enough supplies. And then do we have enough to complete, so that we could complete a rally the troops objective and kill our second one. But I also think we have enough to do this one. We do, as a matter of fact, have enough to do this one. Spend 4 influence and 1 hope. It means we won't be able to do one of the hope ones right away, but we can knock out 2 of those this turn, and that one has to be done in a sanctuary, so it gives us the opportunity to, well, we actually could pull off all 3 this turn and clear some of the baddies from the board, because that's something we got to do. I mean, really bad. It's a mess for us. So I think that's how we're going to plan. So let's start picking the turns for our apprentice. So here is what we're going to do with our apprentice this turn. We're going to first travel. Remember, I want to get her, depending on how things play out, either here or here, but probably here to get rid of these minions so we don't have an overrun. So we're going to travel in the morning, and then when she gets to her destination, the dungeon, we're going to have a battle in the dungeon. And that will also allow us to attempt to complete one of our objectives. It's going to be a little tougher for her, but she does have a good spell that can help. And then she's going to have an encounter there because she's going to be stuck there anyway. Might as well do that. So those are her 3 actions. Now, moving on to our brigand. Now, he's going to do something very similar. So what we're going to do with him is we're going to travel. He is currently inside Farron-Rock. So we're going to move him out of Farron-Rock. He's going to travel to here, to this sanctuary, where he too, well, now I'm taking, so what's sad is I'm taking like the worst characters that could move into these areas to do these things. But we need to clear these spaces out. So even if I fail at the objective, which I don't think, I think we can mitigate that. We'll see. Anyway, we're going to battle there. And maybe I choose not to complete the objective there. We'll see. But we're definitely going to battle so we can clear that space out. And then we don't have any more fortifications. So I think we'll just have an encounter again. So it's going to be a very similar turn for the brigand. And then last but not least, we have our soldier. Now our soldier is in a little bit of a different predicament. Our soldier can also try and complete an objective this turn. I'm not sure if we want to do that or not. So I think what we're going to do with our soldier is we're going to encounter first. We're going to have an encounter up there, see if we can get some cool stuff going on up there in the dungeon. Then we're going to travel, because I kind of want to see how the rest of them unfold before he commits to this. Then we're going to travel. We're probably going to come this direction and head in that way. So we're going to travel there, and then we will have a battle with that captain. Now we're not going to kill the captain, but oh wait, I could quest there, but man, that is the worst. Well, no, it's not the worst person, is it? Intellect, yes, worst person. So I have everybody set up in the absolute worst spot they could go to get these objectives, but that's okay. So I don't think we're going to quest with him. We're going to battle. We're going to try and go after that captain, and that's not going to solve one of our objectives, but that's okay. We'll see how this plays out. Again, it's not the ideal scenario. I'm really trying to move quickly to clear up some of these areas where we could have overruns, which cost us supplies, and see if we can get to complete some of these objectives quickly. We'll see. Hopefully the apprentice and the rogue or the brigand go first and get some things done and move, because I think the brigand can take somebody out when he moves. We'll see. Anyway, let's get started then with we're going to move on then from the planning phase to the action phase. We've done all our planning. Now we're going to take our actions. To do that, we take the morning actions, as you've seen before, and we shuffle them up and get them going. So here is our shuffled up morning action deck. Just want to make sure they're nice and shuffled so we get the best chance possible of not getting the bad guys card first. Let's see what we get. Okay, we didn't. We got the... Okay, this is pretty good, I think. Yeah, this is going to be good for us. It says move one minion from any area to an adjacent area if we spend an arcane symbol. Do I need to do that? I don't think so, because we want all those minions there. We're going to kill them. So we're going to pop over to here, and then we are going to do this. Even though it's going to make our attempt at our objective a little less easy, just by 1 point, we're going to lose shadows. So we're going to take the shadow token off of the brigand, and that will allow us to do damage to one enemy in our area. Okay, now if for some reason we're going to kill one of the minions there, if the minions go, and it will not overrun in that space. And then we're going to spend one of the guile dice to get back our shadows token. So we'll get that token back. I'll put it back on the card, and then at the end of that we roll this again, and it's an arcane. I'll take that. That's okay. So that was a pretty decent start for the brigand. He's going to, or he or she is going to get there and see what we can do about that quest in the sanctuary, but we're only going to get to roll one die. The good news is we don't, it's a spirit 8, but it's going to be a spirit 6 because we're going to take out 2 minions there to do that, because we have to do a battle. Okay, let's see who goes next. Okay, it's going to be the bad guys, and it is corruption. So this is going to affect the areas where we have sanctuaries, and that says corruption. Raise the corruption track if applicable, then spawn minions in it. Well, of course it is, because all of our tracks, I cannot clear these tracks fast enough, so every single one of them has minions in it. What that means is, because I didn't get to battle first, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. That means we're going to cross these twice, and we're almost at the top of that track. That was very, very bad for us. So it says, each hero resolves a battle action versus minions in their space. Minions cannot be defeated by this. So we just have to survive a battle. I mean, we might take some damage. We might take some damage. So let's start with our brigand. He is there with these guys. He's got to do a battle action. Remember that it's a 2 and a 2. He's got 2 dice. There's 2 minions. Well, it's 2 minions. Doesn't matter. All right, so nothing. He takes nothing from that. That's okay. But he can't defeat them. Now, normally he'd defeat them. Okay, and then he's going to have to do that again because we passed that marker twice rather. So let's do that, and he does not take any damage there either. And then the apprentice does not have any minions, and neither does the soldier. So we kind of got away from that there. That's okay. So each hero resolves a battle action versus minions in their area. So that was the only one we had to deal with. So that wasn't absolutely terrible, except when we get to the top of that track, it gets worse for us. Okay, then spawn minions. In addition, perform a muster for each nature in the fate pool. There's no nature in the fate pool, so we're okay there. But we are going to spawn some minions. We're going to spawn one here. We just got rid of one there, unfortunately. We're going to spawn one up here and then one over here. So now we got more risk of overrun there. Maybe, well, no, I think we're doing the right thing. We're doing the right things. We're as best we can. I mean, this is not going that well for us. So, okay, next up, we don't have any darkness. That's a plus, and we're not under a siege. So, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's continue on. So next up, we know it's going to be one of our players. It's going to be the apprentice. So we can move one minion from our area into an adjacent area, but we don't want to do that. So first thing we do is travel. Now the question of the day is the scenario changed for us here. I could travel up here and let her try to complete that quest and battle the sanctuary minions instead. But this dungeon is looking kind of dangerous, and we just had this event, so I'm not as worried about that as I am about this. So I do think for her first part of that action, she is going to travel there. Okay, and then it says we can use Guile to move one minion from your area to an adjacent area. I'm not worried about that because we're going to try and kill them all. And then I am going to spend one of the arcane dice to gain a spell. And I'm still playing it the way I suggested, which is draw the spell. So we're going to draw a spell off the top. What do we get? Threads of Space. It says after you resolve an action, move one hero from any area to your area, or move one hero from your area to any area. This could actually be very useful to us. Not this turn, but I see a useful action here. It says before resolving an action, you may move to any area. That's another good one. So she's got the Threads of Space spell and the Reservoir of the Ancients spell available to her now. And that will end her action, and then we reroll this die. It's a rage die, so that's pretty good. Rage is going to be helpful. Okay, and last but not least, this will be our soldiers' action, so we're going to have an encounter in the dungeons. So the first thing we do is we have the encounter, and I bumped the hit point off of somebody. Who was it? I think it was our rogue, yeah. Okay, and then we're going to get the dungeon deck out. Let's see, where is that? Dungeons? Okay, here's the dungeon quest deck. We got that ready for us, and so I don't think I've shuffled, so we'll shuffle it up. I think this is the first time we've drawn from it. And we'll see what we get. Let's see, come on, soldier, get something good. Secret Tunnels. Ooh, it's a Guile 6. Well, he's got a Guile of, she got a Guile of 2, so that's not terrible. Move to any area of your choice, then delay minions in that area. Oh, okay, this was worth our trouble right here, because this is going to help us a lot. Okay, but we have to complete it first, right? We have to complete it first. So, yeah, that's going to be a challenge, right? Well, let's put the deck aside and see what we got to do. So we got to get a 6. We have 2 dice. We don't have any way to re-roll. It does say, I guess we're just going to have to roll and see how things play out. I'm going to look and see, is there anything I can do? No, not really. I mean, we just got to take a shot at it. What do we get? A 5. Oh, I thought we missed it, but we just pull it off with a 6 there. So we succeeded. Remember, our soldier has 2 Guile, right? 2 Guile, so we can take a look at that just so you see it right here. Boom, right there. I think this is going to change some things for us. I think we're going to pop on over as a result of this secret tunnel to here, right here. Now, we're going to get to move again. I'm going to move over here. So we're going to see what we can do to get some things done. All right, well, that wasn't too bad. But we're not done yet. I can move into an adjacent area and gain 1 fury. I could discard a rage to resolve a battle action or gain 1 fury. Okay, we're not going to do the move yet because we're going to move. We plan to move next turn, but I can do this. So we're going to use one of the rage dice and spend one of our fury here to perform a battle action in the sanctuary space that we're in. So we're going to spend one of our fury. We have 3. We're in good shape there, which gives us a total of 3 dice to roll. Well, there's 3 minions, so we're going to roll 3 dice to do a battle action there. Now, we only have to roll 2. Remember, these are just shamblers, so 2 or better kills them. We could wipe them all out in 1 shot. And that would be awesome. Let's see if we can do it. Well, we only got 2 of them, and we took a point of damage. We've been really unlucky in that regards with rolls and that, so we do kill 2 of them, but we took a point of damage, so these 2 minions come off the board. We took another point of damage, we're down to 7, and we spent this rage dice, so we're going to have to re-roll that. But overall, that was still I wish it could have been slightly better for us. However, we did complete a travel action, or a battle action in the sanctuary space. We could actually attempt this. It's Spirit 8. Now, he's got a Spirit of 2, so we got a better chance. And it says, after resolving the action card, test Spirit for each minion you defeated, reduce the skill test by 1, so that's 2. It's got a better chance of doing that than the Rogue. So I think we're going to do it with our Soldier. So here's what I'm talking about. We're already in the space with this minion, so we get to roll 2 dice, right? And actually, before we do that, I have to roll this one. So let's do that. Okay, we got a Guile die on that one, so it's a Guile. That's good. And then we get to roll 2 dice there. We're going to try and solve this. We can do it, and it's again, it's going to be 2 less. 2 less because we defeated the 2 minions there. So we need a 6 or better to solve that. We got a 10 and an 8, so we actually succeeded on both dice. That's fantastic. So we solve this. We have to spend 4 influence and 1 hope to claim the objective. So here are the 4 influence that we need right here. That we had them in our pile, and 1 hope. So there it is. We succeed and we claim this objective. That is our second of 9 objectives. Good news is there's no objective there anymore to cause terrible spawns and things like that. It's awesome. But now they'll muster from out here instead, so it really doesn't stop anything. And that was really, that's going to end our first turn, our morning turn. That was actually really good. Not fantastic. We had some bumps. We were able to defeat 2 of the minions there, so we're not as fearful of an overrun in that space. And the soldier succeeded, so that was pretty good. But that's going to end the morning actions. So now we're going to get on to the day actions. What our pool looks like. If I could gain 1 more hope, we could actually manage to pull off 2. Both the one in the... I could move the soldier and try and pull off the questing in the dungeon, except I don't think we did it, so we're going to have to do it next turn. But we're getting closer. Okay, so next up we're going to take our day actions and we're going to shuffle them up. See what we get here. Alright. I think that's going to be good. Get 1 final cut. There we go. What do we get? Okay, battle with our apprentice. Well, that's good. Our apprentice is in a space where we definitely want to battle right here in that dungeon. We could then get that objective. That's not a bad idea. Well, actually, I still get the opportunity to do this with the soldier. I'm probably not going to go after that objective because the soldier has a better chance at it. But what we will do is make sure that we don't have to deal with those the baddies that are there, right? We'll just kill them. So here's what we're going to do. We can battle or gain 1 influence. We're going to battle. Now, for her, that means there's 3 minions there. Again, we're going to roll 3 dice. Now we get to roll Faith to reroll dice, but we don't have that, and we get to spend. We can spend an Arcane to draw a spell. We probably will do that. But let's start with our die roll. So 3 enemies. We needed 2 or better. Come on, she got them all. Okay, so boosh, and she took no damage because their attack value is a 2 as well. So she managed to kill all 3 of these enemies in that space. That is fantastic. Because I'm kind of worried this is going to come up. And we still have enemies up there. We can't do anything about that yet. But we were able to do something about this. So now the second part of the next part of the battle phase, we're not going to do that. We don't actually have any. But we are going to spend 1 of our arcane points to draw another spell. And we're going to get the spell Sphere of Deflection. When a hero would suffer the amount of damage, reduce the damage suffered to 1. Okay. When a structure would be removed from an enemy attack, you may suffer 1 damage to keep the structure in play. That's really good because we like our structures. And that is going to end her battle action. So we're going to discard that and we have to re-roll this die. We get a nature. So it rolled way off the crazy train there, but we got a nature. And that is going to end her action for this turn. That was good. We cleared that space completely. I mean, the bottom line is, guys, we're still not winning. Just be clear on that. We are so close to ending these tracks. I mean, we're doing a little better now, but we're not close to winning, and who knows if we will. All right, so next up, we're going to draw the next card as the Despair. This was going to happen to us. Now, we only have 1 Despair spot that's not in play right now. Raise the Despair track if applicable, then spawn minions. In addition, perform a muster for each faith in the Fate pool. There's no faith in the fate pool, so that's good, but we do have to go up twice on the despair track because the despair objectives are in ruins. There's a captain in each of the ruins and nobody in the other ruins. That's where the objectives are. So this is going to go up 1, 2, and we're going to have to deal with this. Each hero in an area with at least one enemy tests Spirit 8. Well, that is going to be both our brigand and our soldier. So we'll start with our brigand. And if we fail, it's going to there's going to be a muster. So we need to roll an 8, and we only have one spirit. Let's see if we can do it. An 8! Fantastic, we succeeded. Just succeeded. So the brigand resolved that effectively. Now we have to go to our soldier. Our soldier has to do the same thing, because he didn't kill. He left one of those minions alive, or if he had killed it, he wouldn't have to do this. But we're going to roll 2 dice for him, brother, because it's based on spirit. Her spirit is 2. We roll an 8 and a 6, so we succeeded there as well. Man, I can't believe we dodged that bullet. Wow. But we're not done. So next thing we're going to do is we're then going to spawn minions. So we'll spawn minions in every location, here, here, and here. They just keep popping up on us. We don't have darkness, and we don't do that extra muster. We have no faith here. So we've completed step 1. Step 2 is the siege. Don't have to worry about that. We're not in a siege state. And step 3 is darkness. We don't have to resolve that either because we don't have a darkness die on the table. Been a little luckier at not having darkness in our pool, so that's been very helpful. That actually ends their phase. That's not terrible. That was not awful. I mean, they're piling up on us still, guys, but at least we're starting to mitigate it somewhat. So let's move on. I'm going to draw our next card. We know it's going to be one of our player cards. So it's the Battle of our Rogue, our Brigand. And it says, we can deal 1 damage to an enemy in your area by spending a rage. We can lose shadows. We don't have to worry about that yet. But let's... Do I just take the chance to roll the dice? I mean, it's a 2, right? Well, you see how I've rolled. So I think we are. We're not going to spend the rage. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it in case the soldier needs it later. So let's roll this. We can go out of shadows to reroll dice. So let's see, a 3, a 9, and a 9. So we succeeded. He killed all 3 of the minions in that space. He doesn't get anything for it, but then he doesn't have to lose shadows. Oh, that would be to gain a D10. So we didn't do that, and we battled and succeeded. So we are okay. We actually pulled that off and took all those minions out of the sanctuary. That was good. Now, if I had the resources, which I don't, I could attempt. That was a battle. I could attempt that spot again, but we needed 4 influence. We don't have 4 influence left, so I cannot get that objective based on that battle. All right, and then last but not least, we're going to have our soldier travel. So we can discard 1 fury to deal 1 damage to an enemy in your area. Well, I think that's wise, right? Because we have 2 fury right now. We're going to discard 1 of them. Leaves us with 1 fury left to get rid of this guy and clear that sanctuary out too. Might as well, right? And then we are going to move. We can move 1 minion from your area into an adjacent area. Well, we're not going to worry about that. Well, you know what we could do? I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to spend that. Here's what we're going to do. This enemy that's with us, we're going to spend this arcane symbol here, arcane die, to move this enemy to here. Now there's 4 enemies there. I think we can do that without causing an overrun because it's not a spawn. I don't know. That might be pushing the envelope there. I don't know. Because then I could reduce the objective, the quest objective, by 4. That's my thought anyway. We could reduce the objective by 4. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because 3 is normally the minion limit. So we'll keep with our strategy. We killed that minion before we moved. Okay, we did not spend the arcane die. Then we travel. We come into here. And then we can discard 1 fury to resolve a battle action. But we don't need to. Well, we could, and then we don't have a battle action in the final round. So, but if I resolve it now, then there's no risk of something bad happening there. Let me think about that. Yeah, I think it's worth it, guys. I think we're going to do it. I do have 1 rage die that I can spend in the pool. We're going to do that because then I can finish that objective too, and it'll reduce the risk that we have, right? So we are going to do this last bit. We're going to do this and discard our last fury to do a battle action. Now, in a normal battle action, we would get stuff back, but if I don't manage to kill them all, I can kill them all in the next phase. So There's 3 minions. We needed 2. And we got them all. So that is awesome. That's 3 minions down. And then we get to do this. And this, we wanted him to do this because he's better at this. This is a tactics. He's got 3 dice. Battle after resolving this action card. Test tactics for each minion you defeated. Reduce it by 1. So we defeated 3 minions. It means we're going to need a 5, right? If we succeed, we can spend 4 supplies and a hope when we got that to do that. So let's put that there. We're going to roll. Our tactics is 3. We need a 5 or better on 3 dice. A 10, a 10, and a 7. So we succeeded on every front. And that means that expenditure of 4 supply and 1 hope. Just double checking out. Yes, 4 supply and 1 hope. We get to claim this objective. We now have 3 of our 9 objectives claimed. 2 of them are from the Rally the Troops deal. Now, what we got to try and do is get through these as quickly as possible before we end up in a state of siege. And I don't know if we're going to pull that off. This is a pretty rough scenario, but we're doing okay right now. Unless I'm missing something critical, but I don't believe I am. So that marks the end of that action. Now we have to re-roll this die, add it back to our pool, and it's a nature. So that's not awful, right? And that is going to end the daytime actions. So now we're going to move to our nighttime actions. Our heroes cleared some enemies from the board in a serious way. We still got a lot of enemies out there, but at least we're not in too much danger of massive overruns this turn. But who knows what the enemies are going to do. I've forgotten what card comes up next because there's a lot of time between the last playthrough and this one. So, okay, well, we're getting into March. So we're going to have the March come up first. Let's take a look at that. March, resolve an assault on Farron Rock. Well, that is going to happen. And each containing a structure, then move minions. Okay. Well, we have some of that to do. Not a ton, but some of that to do. So, I think that I have to look at the priority because both of the captains are in spaces where they can attack the fortification first. So under a march, resolve an assault on Farron Rock. So we're going to take a look at that. Assault. Each time a player resolves an assault, roll 1 10-sided dice for each enemy token in the assaulted area. But the question is, would they resolve it and each area containing a structure? Okay, so there's nobody in Farron Rock right now. So what they're going to do is resolve them against these. So we might lose our structures this turn, right? The Solos have an attack value of 6. So if they roll less than 6 against that structure, and there's 2 of them there because there's also a minion, you roll 2 dice and you take the one that has the best, as I understand it, the one that has the best attack value, right? For each enemy token in the assaulted area, determine which enemy rank, in the area is the highest if at least 1 die result is less than. So if we roll less than a 6, we're going to lose our fortification. We did. So that fortification is gone. That sucks. That is very, very bad for us. If the assaulted area is Farron Rock, we know where, so we're not going to reduce, we just destroy the structure. And then up here we have the same scenario. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but we have the exact same scenario. There's a minion and a captain and a structure. And a 6 and an 8. So guess what? We did not destroy that structure. We didn't lose it. What do you know? Wow. Okay. So then we move minions. All right. Well, so here's how this is going to play out. You know that minions that are in a space with an objective do not move. And we start with the inner ring. So on the inner ring, we have this space here. They're not going to move. We come around here. They're not going to move. And that's it. So then we go to the secondary ring. We actually don't have any minions. Yeah, we do. We have this guy here. He's going to stay where he is because he's with an objective. This captain will move, and I think we'll move him to that village, which is a fair move. We come around here. These guys are with an objective. They won't move. Come down here. This one will move in there toward the objective and Farron Rock. I think that's it, isn't it? I do believe that is it. Then we move minions. Yeah, that's it, guys. And we have no darkness, so we don't have to do anything else. Each hero may change one. We don't have that. Okay. And we're not in a siege state. I think, let's just read through this. We resolve an assault. We did that. And in Farron Rock, and each space containing a structure did that. We lost a structure. Okay. And then we moved our minions. Okay, I think we did everything, guys. Whoosh. Actually, I don't think this captain moves in that. He doesn't move with a march. He moves with a... He's going to move with a... scheme, right? Each captain, not in a quest area, moves. Yeah. So I think he stays there. He does not move yet. That captain. It's just minions. All right. Well, that actually wasn't too bad. We cleared enough space out where we're actually doing okay. We lost one of our structures, which sucks, but it's okay. We're still getting decent enough resources. Maybe we can rebuild it in the next round. Okay. Who's next? Encounter. So our apprentices down here, we're going to encounter. We could suffer. We don't have any rage dice, so we can't do this part. We're just going to do an encounter. So let's get out the dungeon deck again. That helped. That was good to us before, and see what we get. Okay, here is the dungeon deck. Let's see what we draw here. Guarded Vault, Tactics 5. Worst thing we could do for the apprentice. You may suffer up to 4 damage. Gain 1 supply for each damage you suffer. Well, that's pretty good, but she's only got 6. But 2 supplies? What if I got 2 more? 93 anyway. And then if we fail, that's bad. Okay, you find a surplus of supplies heavily guarded within the dungeon. Taking these supplies will alert the enemy. Okay, so we have a 5. We only have 1 die we can roll, though. Boop! Let's see if we get it. A 10! So she succeeded. Wow, okay. So now the question is, do I want to take some damage? If I do gain a supply, well, we're going to gain... She'll take 1 point of damage, I think. Just 1. We find a 1. She'll just take 1 to gain 1 supply. That gives us 2 supplies, 2 hope. That's not unhelpful to us. And that'll be the end of that. So that's going to end the end of her encounter. Now, last but not least, I can spend that to turn 1 fate. No, we're not going to do that. So that goes away. That is her 3rd action and the end of her actions for this day. Okay, next up, we're going to have who? Our brigand. Okay, look at the top card of encounter deck. We don't have any faith, so we cannot do that. So we're just going to have to do the encounter. He's in the sanctuary, though, so that's probably not as likely to be a bad thing. So I am getting out the sanctuary deck. I think this is the first time we've drawn from it, so I'm going to give it a quick shuffle. And we'll see what the brigand gets. Okay, here we are. Let's see. Boosh. Father Andrew. Oh, this is an ally. Gain this card as an asset. We have to roll a Faith 6. We only have 1. But we can lose shadows to reroll any number of d10s here. We can lose shadows to reroll. And then we can spend that the guile that we have to gain shadows again. But if we get him as an ally, we automatically gain a permanent +1 faith. And we can exhaust this card after performing an action to spend 2 hope to change 1 darkness into faith. Well, that's pretty good. So we definitely want this guy. We're going to roll... we have a faith of only 1. I mean... so actually, yeah, we have a faith of 1. Wow, that's rough. But we do get to reroll. We need to roll a 6 or better. Let's see if we can get it. We rolled a 9, guys. Wow. So, good job, us. We gained Father Andrew. Father Andrew is now with our brigand. So that's going to end that encounter. We don't have to do any of the next part of this, which is to lose shadows to reroll or anything like that. We succeeded. So now we have Father Andrew as an ally. That's good. Our brigand needed an ally that gave him some faith. Father Andrew's trying to convince the brigand that God is good and God can be helpful. Okay, and then last but not least, we have a battle action with our big guy. So we can do this. We don't have any enemies in our space here, so there's no enemies there, but we could use Guile to move that minion in there from an adjacent area into here. Then we can battle it, and then we can gain 1 fury for each defeated monster. Let's do that. Why not? So we're going to spend 1 of the Guile. Boosh. We're going to spend that, and we'll move this guy into here. We'll perform a battle action. We just roll 1 die. We need to roll a 2. We rolled a 4. Okay, so we killed it and did not take damage. And as a result of that, we gain a Fury token. Okay, and then after that, we can discard 1 Fury token to deal 1 damage. We're not going to do that. So then all we do is re-roll this Guile die. It comes out as Nature. We got 3 Nature in there right now. They seem to roll like that. It's kind of weird. That ends this card. We gain a Fury, and this card is completed. And that completes our full day. So let's move on to the next final phase of the turn. Okay, so we prepare effects. We don't have any effects. We get resources. Okay, what is the thing we can do the most right now? We could move into that, get up into the, we want some hope objectives, right? So we need hope. We need hope, and then we need to complete the quest in the ruins. So that's where we're going next, right? And we'll be doing that with our apprentice most likely. Well, actually it says quest after resolving this action, test intellect. So we definitely want our apprentice to do that. So let's gain hope now. How many structures do we have left now? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to gain 4 resources. So we'll definitely get 3 of them in hope. That'll give us enough hope to get 1 left over for another action. And then we'll gain a supply. No, we'll gain an influence. Influence seems to be a little harder to get. We'll gain an influence. So there we go. We've got our 4 resources. And then we're going to refresh. Okay, so we're basically refreshing all of our stuff that we used. We didn't really use anything, so we're okay there. Just resetting all the hero cards. Okay, then we revive. We don't have any heroes to revive, and then we reset. Okay, so in the reset, take these 3 cards and we shuffle them. Okay, and then we take the 2 cards remaining from the last turn of the enemy, we put them on top, and we are ready to go. So that is going to mark the end of the turn. Well, we are surviving. I don't know how well. We've got 3 of 9 objectives. The boss tracks are, one of them's almost at the top. The other 2 are both more than, they're halfway or more to ending. And you know, if we complete those, then we're in trouble and we'll be in a massive siege battle. We only get to complete the final objective if we don't end up in a siege state first. I don't see that happening, guys. I mean, it's pretty rough. We've managed to keep the stability of Farronrock good, but we have captains right on the doorstep of our city. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Could be really rough for us. I don't see us winning this still, but I do think that we have really turned a corner and have improved our situation. It's might be too little too late because of the position of the corruption, devastation, and despair tracks. That's what's going to get us, guys. It's not going to be the minions or we've stemmed the tide of the flow of monsters, but we're going to have a big muster this coming day. We know that's going to happen, so there'll be a lot more minions on the board. Hopefully we do it in such a way where we're blocking some of the bad stuff that might happen. Not likely to get a despair out again because we had that one last turn. We'll see. So anyway, I mean, there's some hope yet. We're going to keep going. We'll see how it plays out, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, and I appreciate it, guys. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough. Yeah, I know. I got things I got to do for you guys. I'm getting there. I promise. It seems like there's this long delay, but it's because I'm waiting for things. But I'm going to stop waiting. I'm just going to get things done. But anyway, guys, thanks. Talk to you soon. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.